Hey guys, this is Justin with Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and I'm going to show you how to keep your two-stroke exhaust from leaking and making a mess. Alright, if you ride a two-stroke, you've probably noticed some black nasty oil leak out of your pipe, either where the pipe meets the cylinder or where the silencer meets the pipe. If you've never experienced that, you probably will at some point. Now that oil is simply just unburned premix. It's totally normal. If your bike's running rich, you're going to see a lot more of it, but it's totally normal, and most often you're going to see it where the pipe meets the cylinder. And it just makes a nasty mess when it starts to leak. The reason why it starts to leak is because you have O-rings that sit between the cylinder and the pipe, and as the engine vibrates, the pipe vibrates, those O-rings wear out, and the oil starts to leak. Alright, so before I change out the O-rings on this bike, I want to give you a few tips. Now, whether you're changing out the O-rings on an old pipe or you're putting on a brand new pipe, these tips are going to help you get the most life out of your new O-rings. Now, the first tip is to check your pipe mounts. This bike has two mounts, one up here, one down below, and it's really important to check those because they do wear out over time. A lot of times the pipe gets a little tweaked and you can actually break those mounts. And if those mounts are wore out, missing or broken, the pipe's going to move a lot more, vibrate a lot more, and those O-rings are not going to last very long. So always make sure your pipe mounts are in good shape. All right, my second tip, just like with the pipe mounts, check your pipe springs. If your pipe springs are wore out, stretched out, broken, they're not going to hold the pipe to the cylinder very well, and again, those O-rings aren't going to last very long. All right, and my third tip may seem a little bit hokey to some people, but it works really well and it makes a huge difference, and that's the use of silicone. So I'll actually use some high temperature silicone, put around the O-rings, and that silicone not only helps seal the pipe on a little bit better, but it also adds a layer of protection against vibration that wear out O-rings. So it makes a big difference. And I also use a little bit of silicone between the silencer and the pipe to prevent any leakage there. Now, to show you how to do that, I'm going to be installing a Raven O-ring and spring kit. I really like this kit because the O-rings are made out of Viton rubber, which is a really durable, heat-resistant rubber. So these work really well. And the Raven springs are really heavy duty, and they feature a swivel head on one end, which makes them really easy to align and install. So let me show you how to get these on. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is pull off the side plate so I have access to the silencer. Then I can go ahead and remove the silencer. Now I can go ahead and remove the pipe mounts. Now I'm ready to remove the springs. I'm going to be using a Tusk spring puller. These things are inexpensive and they make pulling springs a lot easier. If you're going to try to do it with a screwdriver or pliers, you're going to end up with bloody knuckles. All right, with the springs removed, I can pull this pipe. Now, it's always a good idea to clean the cylinder before you put the pipe on, especially if your pipe was leaking. So I'm just going to spray a little contact cleaner in there and kind of wipe it off with a rag. All right, so I'm going to be putting a different pipe on this bike, so I'm going to make sure it's real clean. If you're putting your old pipe on, you want to make sure to pull those old O-rings out. And then we can go ahead and put the new O-rings in. So I'm just gonna slide them into the groove here. So once those are seated in their grooves, like so, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little silicone on. Now you don't wanna go crazy with the silicone. Obviously you don't want it obstructing the pipe, but I'm just gonna get a little on my fingers, rub it around the O-rings. And the nice thing about this Permatex high temp silicone is it comes off really easy. So when you pull your pipe off again, you've got to clean everything up, but the silicone comes off fairly easy. So with a little bit of silicone in there, I'm ready to put the pipe back on the cylinder. Once it's in place, I can attach the mounts. Now, one thing I want to point out is I'm going to loosely attach these mounts at first. Once I get everything in place and the springs in place, silencer in place, I can tighten everything up. Now I can go ahead and pull these springs into place. Okay, with the mount and springs in place, we can put the silencer on. Most two-strokes are going to have a rubber seal that seal the silencer and pipe together, but they still leak, so I like to use a little bit of silicone. So I'm going to slide the rubber boot back out of the way, and then I'm going to apply silicone to the back of the pipe, and then I can slide the silencer onto the pipe, and then I'll pull the rubber boot back over the joint. With all the bolts in place loosely, I'm going to tighten all the mounts up, starting from the front and work my way back. And finally, I'll put the side plate back on. All right guys, so there you have it. Hopefully some of these tips help you out and help prevent making a black oily mess on your two-stroke. Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more how-to videos and product spotlights. And check out our website, RockyMountainATVMC.com, for all your parts and accessory needs, including the O-rings, springs, and the tools I used in this video. Thanks for watching.